I have almost 2 decades experience in banking. Started as a treasury front office person, basically a prop trader. I started my career in the fixed income, then moved to foreign exchange. Then after that, I started heading some of the desk and analytics, ALM. This were some of the things actually I used to handle in my first half of my career. And the second half, my bank actually opened a offshore branch actually. So I was part of the founding team. So we set up it was almost equal to a separate bank entity, separately regulated kind of a thing. So, and past 5 years, I'm heading this unit, this branch, the capacity of a chief executive. So that is what actually the journey is.
And so did you hear about the BTRM through the company that you're currently working for or via other means?
In 2015, I think when BTRM was launched, there was a partner in India too. So I was connected with them. So they, though I knew Professor Murad and the principles of banking, that the book I was having it. So, but this partner introduced me to this program. That there is a program like this, and 6 months. So through that partner, basically, I came to know about this.
And so what made you actually decide to enroll onto the BTRM program at that time 10 years ago?
I did this program in 18. So it took almost years for me to enroll for this one. So when this was introduced to me, as I told, I was a trader basically. So when I went through the curriculum of this program, I found it more comprehensive, handling many of the balance sheet management thing, various risk, FTPs, like that, many things actually, which I found to be a little bit wider than the area of work when I was first introduced to this one. But in 18, when I was told that I would be taking over as the chief executive of this unit. So then I started thinking that because this requires a wider understanding running a separate bank-like entity. That time I found that the BTRM would be one of the right courses because it deals with the balance sheet management, basically in the banks. It's a art and science of, we say, of managing the capital and liquidity and all those kind of things. So I found, because compared to, there were other options like CFA, FRM, but the reason is that this is a very specific program for the banks where the practitioners, experienced practitioners, authors are coming directly, engaging with the students. So we are getting an opportunity to interact. So that was the reason why I chose this one actually.
And in terms of, so you mentioned practitioners as well, and in terms of, if you can remember back 10 years ago, what were the most useful aspects of the program from a practical point of view?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So as I told you, I was part of a bank. In the bank, there are so many verticals are there where I was part of the treasury, but the risk, ALM, credit, under the risk itself, various credit, market, all those kind of aspects are there. So, I was, which I was not exposed to. So I wanted to, from a practitioner point of view, when I got elevated, I wanted to know these things more. That is one reason. Through this BTRM, one few of the things like the concepts, the fundamentals of everything, we are able to get more clear, the clarity we are able to get. Introduction to other developed jurisdiction, that is one thing, because this is a global program. So we are able to engage, we can listen to the faculties from across the globe. So what are the market practices? And the foremost thing is the Basel, which I started reading because through this program, I started reading the Basel. So the various frameworks. Then so that we could take those inputs into our own things. That is one thing, understanding about this one, understanding the practices in other territories. and engaging. This is I'm working in a place where it is an evolving and a new place where a lot of interactions with the policymakers, regulators are also there. So we could, as a market participant, when we understand all those kind of things, we could also give that this is happening in this territory, this is the way. So they also take inputs. So this is something that actually it is. Then networking with the other thing. Even today, many new things are happening in the market. And one of the, even I just telling that the LIBOR transition happened. Okay, this was a market disruption, I would say, or a transition, a big thing. About 400 trillion assets were getting moved from the earlier LIBOR to the new alternative reference rates and all. So BTRM, there were so many discussions were happening. I could connect with some of the senior people in UK and other parts of the world, which helped me to get many of the things which we could what you call move into our activities. And we were the first ones to implement the LIBOR in my bank. So that's the way, and the webinars happening. So very useful. So
super, but that sounds really good. And of course, we've introduced plenty of BTRM delegates to yourself over the years as well. So, we appreciate your help. You're helping their future, which leads on to my next and final question, which is that what advice do you have for future delegates considering the BTRM program?
Yeah, this is a program where the candidates are getting a lifelong, they are entering into a journey. It is a lifelong learning. That is what actually, once you are enrolling for the BTRM, it's not ending with the program, actually. So where we are engaging with the present as well as the future, and most of the market participants are part of this one. So that is one advantage which I see. And this brings a lot of confidence also to the candidates, because when, in my case itself, when I learned this one, studied this program, the level of confidence went up. I could actually speak to a diverse crowd within the bank. If it is sometimes when we go to the board, we can actually very confidently speak, because the wider knowledge we are able to acquire through this one when we speak to the regulators, policymakers. So if someone is very passionate and want to make a very strong career in the banking, definitely this is a very right course that they should be choosing. And they are with a network of people, and a lot of learnings are happening on a regular basis. And if you have any query related to that, just post it. Even nowadays, these days also, a lot of few people are asking, and the responses we are getting. So that is a practitioner. It helps a lot, actually. So this is an amazing platform, I would say.
That covers a lot of things on the program. I really appreciate that. And thanks a lot for coming on and submitting your feedback. That's hugely appreciated, and all the best.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Thanks a lot.